What's up, y'all? This is Henny. And listen, the iPad Pro 2020 has definitely been my favorite iPad to date. And I know a lot of you out there are looking for a new iPad, looking to upgrade, maybe even looking to get into a more professional iPad. So today I'm gonna break down the 6 months that I've had this iPad and why it's my favorite to date. Let's go! The business. So like I said, I've had this iPad Pro 2020, 11-inch model, 1 terabyte version for about 6 months now. And man, when I tell you this thing is a power horse, wow. Now let me tell you exactly, for all of those who might be watching for the first time, what I use this for. So by trade, I am a professional music producer, songwriter, as well as a educator and a fellow YouTuber. So I use this as my daily device for all of that, whether it's music production professionally, whether it's video editing, whether it's like editing pictures, editing thumbnails, man, drawing. I basically do it all on this one device. I do have a Mac or two around the house, but I don't even use it. Every day, it's this iPad Pro. And I've had a lot of iPads in the last few years, but this has been my all-time favorite. Some of the apps that I use every day would be music production apps like AUM, Beatmaker 3, Cubasis 3, along with a slew of plugins and other synths and everything that I do to create music production. It handles this like a beast. I can throw plugin after plugin after plugin in a DAW and it doesn't crash, it doesn't hiccup, it just keeps going. The same as video editing. I'm using the app LumaFusion. I've talked about it a lot on this channel, and you know, I do 4K edits. I upload directly to YouTube in 4K in LumaFusion. I'm using this Sony a7 III, and I'm shooting in HLG2 4K 24 frames a second, all imported into here. I edit and distribute that directly to YouTube straight from this device. I also use photo editing tools like Darkroom or Procreate or Affinity Photo to do my thumbnails and edit my pictures. And then I do, you know, a lot of entertainment with this, whether I'm using it for social media, watching my favorite shows on HBO or YouTube or Amazon Prime, whatever it is. This thing is a joy to use. When it comes down to it, this is my one device that I carry around with me every day, and it does it all for me. It's been amazing. So like I said, performance and speed on this thing, listen, the A12, I believe the A12Z chip that's in here, it's crazy, right? The fact that the new Apple Silicon Macs are gonna be somewhat based around the processor that's built into this lets you know just how powerful this thing is. It's kept up with all of the apps that I've used. You know, I don't have any hiccups. I really don't have any stutters when I'm doing a lot of music production with a lot of different plugins. This thing has the power to compete with a MacBook Pro, the power to compete with an iMac, but you can take it with you everywhere, right? I really enjoy the 11-inch version versus the 12.9. I'll talk about that in a second. But man, I tell you, like, the speed and processor on this thing is outstanding. And yeah, what can I say? I've had all the iPad Pros up to this date, and this one is crazy. Now with all the powerful apps and all the things that I'm doing, battery life has been pretty good. There are days when I'm, you know, really going in, editing video, doing music, and I'm, you know, I have a lot of accessories plugged in, whether it's a USB-C hub with a, you know, USB keyboard plugged in, as well as, you know, maybe a audio interface plugged in. It does drain the battery quite a bit when I'm trying to do so much on it, but I can still get pretty much a full day's use out of it if I'm really going hard on a specific day. I haven't had many problems where I'm like, damn, I'm running out of battery life, or I see the, you know, the iPad getting hot and running fast and not really giving me the performance that I need. It's pretty much been an all-day battery life situation for everything that I'm doing. Hurry up. And for size, I did get the 1 terabyte version, right? The last few models that I've gotten on an iPad Pro, I've gotten the biggest size that I possibly get because I knew that this was my everyday do-it-all device. And so I have the 1 terabyte version. And even with 1 terabyte, you know, recording 4K files, Gardner's always getting in the way of these videos. But even with the 1 terabytes recording 4K files, doing a lot of music, adding a lot of music files and WAV files all into this device, I'm using at least 80% of it most of the time. And I think right now, 860 gigabytes of my 1 terabytes that I'm using on this. And I do have iCloud Photos turned on with optimized iPad storage turned on as well. And so my iCloud is getting heavy over the years of putting all of my pictures and, you know, my edited videos and my, you know, some of my raw videos in my iCloud storage. So like I said in a previous video, I'm hoping that Apple will increase the storage on the iCloud, at least if we can have another option, maybe a 5 terabyte option that we can pay, you know, more for. I would love to see that. And so for size, I really have to be mindful about all the storage that I'm using on this device, because it can get, you know, eaten up pretty quick. So what I do is, I've talked about this in other videos, but you know, I'll take a lot of the LumaFusion folder files that I have, which is eating up a lot of the storage on this device, and I will take this to my Mac. I will plug up my iPad as well as a hard drive, and then I will copy over that entire LumaFusion folder for, let's say, the month of October. I slide over all the files, and then I can delete the ones that I know I won't be using anytime soon and clear up some of that space and have, you know, all of those files backed up. So size-wise, it's been good. But if you're doing things like this, where you're editing a lot of 4K files on this device, as well as doing a lot of things that I'm doing musically and otherwise, the storage on this device can get eaten up pretty quick. Now let's talk accessories, right? What are the things that I'm using with this iPad Pro? I want to make sure that I can do everything that I would love to do musically, you know, creatively, whatever. I have quite a few accessories that I use with this device, starting with the Apple Pencil that I've used a ton with maybe the 2018 iPad Pro, but since I've gotten this Magic Keyboard, I don't use it as much because I have this trackpad here and it's working really good. The Magic Keyboard has been a blessing. I really love this form factor. I really, you know, enjoy the typing experience and the overall kind of laptop feel when I need it. You know, that's kind of how I use it. I tend to use this Pergo USB-C hub, and I plug that in there when I'm importing my footage directly from my camera, or if I have something like this. This is a USB Type-C DAC that I use to just plug into my headphones here. And then I'll also have this, this is the CME X Key USB. I also have the X Key Air, the Bluetooth version, but this is the 37 key keyboard that also has attachments for a sustain pedal. And so this is kind of how I'm able to play and do my thing musically with keys, because I am a keyboard player. And I'll have all of this hooked up at once. Everything seems to be working really smoothly. You know, the Magic Keyboard is very clutch. You know, the fact that I have a keyboard that's so thin and light and works very well. I can just plug in headphones and I get to work. And so this can really give me a professional quality situation for myself that is all can fit pretty much in a single bag. So let's talk comparison between this 11-inch and the 12.9, because I had the 12.9 for almost a year and a half, and now I have this 11. And for all of those who are wondering what's better or what's worse, I think it really depends on your flavor. I really enjoy the 11-inch size. It just is the right amount of portability, and it still has the power, you know? And the screen size, I can still see everything clear, and I don't feel like I'm struggling with a size situation. This thing is light and portable enough to carry around the house, because you all know we're still not going that many places in October of 2020. The 12.9 just seemed like I would just set it on my desk and use it more like a laptop. And so if you want more of a laptop feel with maybe something like the Magic Keyboard here, you're going to get that with the 12.9 and something like the Magic Keyboard. It's a little bit heftier, a little bit heavier. It's a little bit bulkier when you're thinking about carrying it around. This 11-inch still feels more like a tablet. A lot of times I'll just carry it just like this. I do have the paper-like film over the front of it to minimize glare and kind of give me that paper feel. This is kind of cool. The size, it just works a lot better for me than the 12.9. And I know that, you know, going forward, I would still get this size more than any other size. So the biggest question is, Now that the iPad Air is out, the new 2020 iPad Air, should you go for something like this iPad Pro, 11, 12.9 inch 2020 version, or get the iPad Air? And my question to you is, are you looking for a device that can do it all and you really need the top specs? Because really the main difference is when you look at it from, a comparison between, this iPad Pro and the new iPad Air is, do you need that 120 refresh rate on the screen, right? The better screen. Do you need the better speakers coming out of the iPad, right? Do you need the cameras with the super wide and the wide camera with the LiDAR, which I never use? And are you really going to see the increased performance with the extra RAM in these iPad Pros? Most likely, a lot of you out there won't. And I truly believe the new iPad Air with its A14 Bionic processor, man, I'm telling you, the processors are what's really key. They're really gold with all these iOS devices. And so if you're really looking in between something like this iPad Pro and the new iPad Air that just came out, I'd probably check out that new iPad Air with that A14 Bionic processor. That thing is probably a beast for all the things that I've been talking about, whether it's video editing, music production, photo editing, drawing, the like. It's going to give you everything that you want in a less expensive package. I would definitely check that out. And on top of that, it'll probably last longer given the fact that it has the newer chip in it. So if you're looking in between these two, the iPad Pro or the iPad Air that just came out, definitely check out the iPad Air. Now, I don't need the iPad Air at all. I might check it out to review, but for the most part, this iPad Pro 2020 is giving me all that I need, except a few things that it's just, lacking within the iOS infrastructure. And that's really like being able to live stream with a, external camera like this. If I could do that with an iPad, I literally would have no need for a Mac right now. So that's pretty much it. I truly enjoy this device, and after 6 months, it is my favorite iPad that I've ever had. So take that for what it is. I hope that you got something out of this today. And drop me a comment below and let me know what you think about the iPad Air versus the iPad Pros. And if you're looking to get something in the near future and you might need a little extra help, I'm here for y'all, and I appreciate you every day. Thank you, stay safe, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one. And I'm out!